From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Casey. It is 4:27 here on our Tuesday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here at WRTV and Good Morning Indiana. We do have several stories to get to today before we get into our show officially. So let's chat about a few different items, starting with IPS students. They're starting their second day of remote learning today. That entire district is doing virtual learning. So this is something new for such a big school district. And we know that they spent a lot of money on devices and hotspots for their students. So today we're going to be taking a look at how that all went yesterday. Plus, our Alyssa Donovan is going to give us sort of a behind the scenes look at what this is like for teachers in the classroom and what it's like kind of presenting this virtual learning to students. So we'll have that story for you coming up here on Good Morning Indiana. Let's take a turn right now to the latest on the coronavirus here in the state of Indiana. Yesterday, we reported 6 new deaths from COVID-19, bringing the death toll to more than 2,900 in our state. Also on Monday, the State Department of Health reported more than 600 new cases, bringing the total number of cases to more than 81,000 since back in March when this whole thing started. So we'll be breaking down the latest numbers from the State Department of Health and what that means. And we also know a lot of students are going back to college, so we're going to be looking at how colleges are handling any COVID-19 cases that come their way. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. Our Todd Clausen is standing by from home this morning. And Todd, we have a great week of weather on tap. What can we expect for our Tuesday?
Yeah, you know, once we get past a few hours this morning, you're right, Lauren, there is a great stretch of weather. There's some rain showers out there right now that have kind of stalled across the area. So that's something some of you will have to deal with at least for the next couple hours. As you see on the WRTV radar on the center of your screen, it's a band of rain that's making its way through the state. To the south, just like yesterday, you're mainly dry. So for some of you, it's a little bit of a wet start. But even if you're seeing the rain here this morning, it will move out and it will turn into a very nice day for us. Temperatures range from 63 in Logansport to 71 in Indianapolis. Highs today will probably get up to the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees here across the area with that morning rain, but the sunshine again comes out later on this afternoon. And once we get into that sunshine, it does start a beautiful stretch of weather. Lauren, as you mentioned, we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at another story we'll be talking about later in the show. This is part of our Rebound Indiana project. I traveled down to Morgan County to get an update on how Churches in Mission is meeting the need, the growing need there in that community for food, basic hygiene products, clothing, and just financial resources, things with like rent and utility help. So we'll be breaking down that and how you can join their virtual fundraiser coming up later this week. We'll have all of that for you right here on Good Morning Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And continuing efforts to curb crime in the Circle City. Now at 4:30, details on the new round of community violence reduction grants that will be handed out today. Plus this morning, there's new developments in the shooting death of Drejon Reed, how you can help investigators in that case. And Notre Dame experiencing a spike in the number of coronavirus cases on their campus, what university leaders say is behind the growing number of infections. But before we get to those top stories today, I want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is home this morning. And Todd, you mentioned that we have some storms and a little bit of rain stalling over the area. So what does that mean to people waking up right now?
Yeah, you know, if you're waking up north of Indianapolis with us here this morning, you probably already could hear the rain falling on your roof or maybe hitting your window. For those of you south of Indianapolis, we're completely dry. And we were hoping that this front that was coming through yesterday afternoon and evening would push off to the east, but unfortunately it's lingering a little bit longer here, and that's keeping some showers in the forecast for us. So we'll go into northern portions of Hamilton County into Madison County near Anderson. Some pretty good rain towards Tipton as well. And this is just rainfall, though. We're not dealing with any lightning. That is the good news. Crawfordsville to Linden along there, US 231. And as we slide down to the south, there's a little shower there near the Mooresville and Martinsville area. So this will continue to stream through the state here this morning with some scattered showers. The further south you are, the drier you will be. So as we go throughout the course of the day today, morning showers drying out by the noon hour, then partly cloudy skies later on this afternoon with a high temperature, Lauren, of 78 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. Here's I-65, a view near 30th Street. This is north of the downtown area where traffic is moving along smoothly, both northbound and southbound. No crashes or issues to slow you down, but of course we'll keep you updated if you need to reroute this morning. New this morning, Indianapolis city leaders are continuing their efforts to curb crime. Today, a third round of violence reduction grants will be handed out as part of the city's community-focused public safety strategy. This program directs $300,000 to grassroots organizations that provide violence prevention programming and wraparound services in Indianapolis neighborhoods. Applications for the program are reviewed by a panel of researchers from IUPUI. This year's grant recipients will be announced later this morning at 10 o'clock. New developments surrounding the investigation into Drajon Reed's death. State police are hoping you can track down a possible witness to this incident. ISP wants to speak with the driver and whoever else was in the SUV, which was seen at the intersection of 62nd Street and Michigan Road back on Wednesday, May 6th, around 6 p.m. That was the day an IMPD officer shot and killed Reed after a chase. IMPD says there was an exchange of fire between the officer and Reed. Reed was killed and the officer was not hurt. Police say that a weapon was found lying next to Reed's body. Attorneys for Reed's family say surveillance video shared in June is evidence that Reed was not holding a gun at the time. If you think you've seen this vehicle or know who was driving it, please call state police. That number is 765-778-2121. Also developing this morning, conservation officers have identified the 3 people who died in Lake Monroe on Saturday. They're 67-year-old Estela Huerta, 31-year-old Alejandro Hernandez Huerta, and a juvenile. All were from Lawrence. Investigators say witnesses saw a vehicle drive down the Paintown State Recreation Area boat ramp and enter the water. The driver of the vehicle reportedly called out for help and attempted to exit the vehicle. The witnesses were not able to rescue the victims before the vehicle went underwater. That accident remains under investigation. Turning now to the latest on the impact of the coronavirus and that it's having here on Hoosier lives. 6 new deaths were reported on Monday. That is 3 more than reported on Sunday. Since the pandemic began, 2,926 people in Indiana have died from the coronavirus. 603 new cases of COVID-19 were also reported, and that brings the state total to 81,006. More than 914,000 Hoosiers have been tested for COVID-19 so far. 8.9% of those have tested positive. A local organization is stepping up to help families juggle the additional challenges created by e-learning. The Mind Trust is partnering with neighborhood centers across the city to create community learning sites. The program kicked off Monday at the Edna Martin Christian Center in Martindale-Brightwood on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Special facilitators help support and guide the students. The program is designed for families who may not be able to stay home with their kids.
I feel safe knowing that if I have to go and be away from him, that he's getting what he needs without me having to worry about him lagging behind.
I think that we've heard a lot about higher income families moving quickly to come up with creative solutions for their kids, and that's fine. But as a city, we have to make sure that we're supporting many of our families who are less privileged.
Mind Trust is investing $200,000 in this program. It is free and currently operating at 11 locations across the city. Facilitators are being hired to work at these sites, and for more information on how to apply for a job or sign up for the program, you can just go to WRTV.com. The University of Notre Dame says it is seeing a spike in cases on campus. Nearly 12,000 students were tested before being allowed on campus, and only 33 tested positive. Since school started back on August 3rd, 58 more cases have been confirmed. The university says many of the cases are connected to an off-campus party where social distancing was not practiced and masks were not worn. A university spokesperson says they believe they can still get the spread under control without having to cancel classes and send students home. Today you can learn the latest about the Purple Line, Indigo's second rapid transit bus line. The new route will connect Lawrence to downtown Indianapolis. The virtual public meeting will be held at 5:30 in the evening. You can find a link with more information in this story. Just go to our website, WRTV.com. Construction on the Purple Line is expected to begin sometime next year. Democrats launched their general election pitch during the first night of their virtual convention. At the same time, President Trump kicked off his multi-state campaign. We'll have the very latest election news for you just after the break. And legendary Pike High School basketball coach Ed Siegel lost his battle with COVID-19, but his lessons live on, especially in a former player who's writing his own legend in IndyCar. Sports Director Dave First talks to the president of Team Penske, Tim Cindric, about Coach Siegel. That's still ahead. Todd.
And Lauren, somebody waking up to some showers here this morning as they stream through parts of central Indiana. These showers will be with us off and on throughout the morning hours. This afternoon turns much brighter, and that'll also start a great stretch of weather that we've been advertising across the area. Just got to be a little bit patient here this morning. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:40, and here's a live look at traffic south of the downtown area, I-65 and Keystone Avenue, that ongoing construction project on the bridge there. The southbound lanes, those are the ones being worked on this week, so southbound traffic does need to shift over to the northbound lanes, so be aware of that change. And the exit and entrance ramps remain open through this spot. Just use caution as you're driving through that area. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will officially be nominated this week by the Democratic Party in the race for 2020, and it all started last night. Democrats opening their mostly virtual convention in Milwaukee as the coronavirus outbreak forces both parties to pivot on how they normally host these traditional massive conventions. ABC's Inez de la Cotera has the latest.
Overnight, a Democratic National Convention like no other. Former First Lady Michelle Obama giving the keynote address, like the rest of the DNC, virtually.
If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election.
The former First Lady urgently warning.
We have got to vote for Joe Biden like our lives depend on it.
Democrats challenged to capture the enthusiasm and party unity without a crowd. Headliners included leaders in the fight against COVID-19.
Now we need a leader as good as our people. A leader who appeals to the best within us, not the worst.
To Kristen Urquiza, a woman whose father died from the virus.
His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump, and for that, he paid with his life.
And they ranged from across the ideological spectrum, from self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders.
We must come together, defeat Donald Trump, and elect Joe Biden.
To former Ohio Governor and conservative Republican John Kasich.
I'm proud of my Republican heritage, but what I have witnessed these past 4 years belies those principles.
The Democrats also inviting 3 Republican women to speak who all endorsed Joe Biden for president.
This isn't about a Republican or Democrat. It's about a person.
This as President Trump tried to change the channel with some counter-programming in the key swing states of Minnesota and Wisconsin.
They're making speeches that are taped. Who wants to listen to Michelle Obama do a taped speech? No, you got to have her get up there.
Joe Biden will accept his party's nomination later this week from Wilmington, Delaware. Republicans will hold their convention next week. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
Senator Kamala Harris has chosen her Secret Service code name, and it's Pioneer. She was put under Secret Service protection shortly after being named as Joe Biden's running mate. Pioneer is a nod to Harris becoming the first black woman and Indian American woman as a major party's presidential ticket. One former Secret Service official says protectees seem to take on the personas of the call names they select. For example, former President Barack Obama was Renegade, Michelle Obama was Renaissance, Barbara Bush was Tranquility. President Trump's code name is Mogul, and First Lady Melania Trump's is Muse. Biden has reclaimed the code name he used while serving as the vice president, which is Celtic. His wife, Dr. Jill Biden, also taking the same name as Capri. I like those, Todd. I think we all need code names. I don't know what yours would be. It'd be like El Nino or something weather related. I can't even think of my own.
I know. We'll have to come up with some code names here, especially since we don't see each other very often anymore, so we can call each other by our nicknames. All right, this morning we're really unfortunate here with some showers that are lingering across the area. Yesterday, I know I said it was going to be a great stretch of weather. I was hopeful that the showers would come through during the overnight hours, and they're out there. They're just not moving out as quick as I had hoped. With that said, though, today's not a washout. Not everybody's even seeing these showers. showers. Some of you, though, are just dealing with some rain this morning. From Richmond to Cambridge City, just north of Newcastle, some rain right there along US 36. And then as we come into portions of Madison County and Anderson, over into Noblesville, into Hamilton County, up to Sheridan, into Tipton, you notice there's quite a bit of rainfall. And then as we slide a little further off towards the east, some scattered rain in Crawfordsville, and then just north of Greencastle as well. There's no lightning here, or as of yet, but certainly it's going to impact your drive or any activities that you may have planned in the morning hours. And you can see some of this rain stretches back off into portions of Illinois, and it's all making its way off towards the east pretty much. There's not really much of a north-south movement with these showers. It's basically west to east. So as we go over to TrueCast and we go through hour by hour, where you're seeing the rain right now, you'll probably deal with scattered showers through most of the morning before we start to dry out a little bit later on this afternoon and get skies in here that are going to be partly sunny this afternoon. A little better of a shower threat as we work our way into southern portions of the area. So once this front goes through, though, that's what will open the door to the beautiful stretch of weather that we should be seeing across the area. Temperatures range from 63 in Tipton to 68 in Bloomington. 71 is the current temperature in Indianapolis. So as we work our way throughout the morning hours, some areas seeing those showers, other areas will be partly cloudy. So it just really depends on where you are. And then everybody should start to trend partly cloudy as we work our way into the afternoon hours. But notice those temperatures a little cooler. We're only going to be in the 70s. Should get up into right around 80 degrees once we get enough sunshine in here as we work our way into the evening hours. Overnight tonight with clearer skies. Look at the temperatures behind this batch of rain and this front moving through. Tomorrow morning, as cool as 53 in Peru, 57 in Indy, 56 in Columbus. And tomorrow looks to be the best weather day of the week. Absolutely spectacular with sunshine and temperatures that'll eventually be climbing up to right around 80 degrees. We keep the sunshine Thursday up to 82 degrees. And then after a cooler start Friday, still in the 50s, 85. And then warm over the weekend with just a chance, Lauren, of a spot storm, it looks like, on race day on Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out early for your Tuesday morning commute. This is our NDOT traffic camera at I-465 here on East 71st Street. This is up on the northeast side of town. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound. No major issues to slow down your commute at this hour. We'll continue to keep you updated on any major issues that may change up your commute this Tuesday. Well, the Indianapolis 500 is set for this Sunday, and you can't think IndyCar without thinking about Team Penske. The latest strong addition has been Tim Cindric. He learned the life lessons at Pike High School, much of thanks to his high school basketball coach. Sports Director Dave First has more.
It was a spring where time stood still. No racing, no basketball, no nothing. And all with lives lost to COVID-19. At Pike High, that included its legendary former coach, Ed Siegel. One of his former players is Team Penske president, Tim Cindric.
When you heard the news, what did you think?
Well, I had spoken to him, a few months earlier or whatever else, and he was struggling with his back and some of the other things. So, certainly miss his voice and miss having conversations, but, I think you just stick with the memories.
And when it comes to Ed Siegel, there are plenty of those. He frankly put Pike basketball on the map, 25 seasons worth. Cindric was a captain on his 1985-86 team.
How often do you find yourself going back to things that maybe Coach Siegel said to you or told you that many years ago and you're still using to this day?
I think one of the things Coach Siegel always asked for was hard work. And, he always said that would pay off. It was one of those where he would call out of the blue or I would, or, when I was in Indy, especially during May, I would always check in with him during May.
Remember, Indy is as high stakes and as high pressure as it gets. The days blow by quickly, the cars even quicker. But it doesn't mean Tim still couldn't find time for his old high school coach.
As he would come to the track or whatever else, it was always good to see him. But for me, he never changed. It didn't matter what age he was or what age I was. It always seemed as though, I was still one of his players.
And that's exactly the way Ed Siegel wanted it. Season after season, practice after practice. No one was a player just for 1 year. To Ed, it was a bond for life.
A lot of people don't realize it. Every player that you coach, whether he's the last kid on the bench or the star of the team, that he doesn't realize it, but a part of him goes with you when he leaves. And you hope positively a part of you will go with him.
During Indiana's single-class basketball days, Ed put together 4 sectional championships, 2 regionals, and 5 Marion County championships, including one in Tim's senior season. He was demanding, he was tough. Very few wanted it any other way.
You know, for me, it was him and there was Bobby Knight. And he was the first step. If you were going to get to Bobby Knight, you had to get to him.
He'd get in your ass a little bit, you know?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You just hoped he was in somebody else's instead of yours.
Today, Tim is coaching his own team, personally a part of 3 IndyCar Series championships while running the most successful IndyCar team in the sport's history. But while the celebrations are here, you'll understand if on occasion his mind drifts to here, where for so many successful young men, it's where it all began.
I think athletics in general helps shape you for who you are. Athletics teach you how to work together in general. And, you know, Coach Siegel was very much a proponent of that. He was less about your stats and more about the overall team wins and where the team goes. And the position that I'm in right now obviously has a lot to do with everybody doing their job and everybody understanding what the role is in that job.
Dave, thank you. While several traditions at the track won't happen this year, one is scheduled to go on. The Air Force Thunderbirds will perform the pre-race flyover. America's ambassadors in blue will fly in their signature Delta formation over IMS. Thunderbirds typically perform hour-long aerial demonstrations at air shows across the country, but most of their performances are canceled this year due to the coronavirus. Instead, the team worked with the U.S. Navy Blue Angels to do flyovers in several cities, including right here in Indianapolis, to celebrate frontline workers. The green flag for the 104th running of the Indy 500 is set for 2:30 p.m. A young surfer making waves in her profession. Coming up, how she's making history while helping others achieve their dreams. It's 4:51. Stick around. We'll be right back. A young surfer is making waves and history in her own country. The teen is the first female professional surfer in Senegal. She says it all started when she would go kayaking off the coast of Dakar. That's when she was discovered by Rhonda Harper, who founded U.S.-based Black Girls Surf. With the help of Harper, the Olympic hopeful is now training young girls to surf. She says her family initially held her back from surfing, so today she tells her students to ignore others' voices, listen to their hearts, and focus on training. All right, back here at home, Todd, we're taking a look at some rain showers moving across the area. What do people need to know this morning?
Yeah, unfortunately, these rain showers are just kind of lingering across the area, Lauren. We were hoping they would be out of here throughout the overnight hours. Not the case. With that said, not everybody's seeing them. It's just this band of rain that's moving through, mainly impacting north of Interstate 70 right now. And these showers will be with us throughout the morning hours. The afternoon hours will be much brighter, and then a beautiful stretch of weather that'll take us all the way into the middle of the week and the weekend for that matter. So just be a little bit patient here this morning with the rain. We'll get through it, and then a lot of sunshine Wednesday with a high of 80, 82 on Thursday, and then mid-80s Friday through the weekend. The time now is 4:56. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.